borrowing your own ways. But we also want to satisfy our curiosity whether this sum, outside the fact that the receipts and supporting documents are not proper, which you admitted and said you have made that correction, whether this sum they are properly spent. It's an issue now. So we'll look at that, but for the query we have upheld the query and we pray that that infraction will no longer take place in your authority under your watch.
Thank you, sir. The TSA system is right from the Thank you.
Auditor General.
The authority habitually indulge in the act of breaching the e-payment rule, which stipulate that payment should be made to the individual beneficiary. The organization was in the habit of making group payment through one person. The managing director had been requested to explain this regard to government policy on e-payment.
Thank you, Mr. Authority, that we don't make group payments. We do individual payments. It has been our policy since time immemorial, and it has been upheld up to this moment. So we request the Office of the Auditor General to furnish us with one single evidence of such type of payment that is done. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
They said that it is in breach of a rule. That is a query. When the Office of Auditor General has said that it is in breach of a rule, I think that perhaps if we are not very clear, what we should be asking for is let us see the rule that has been breached, and then they have said that it is not correct. It is for them to look at their file and furnish us with further information. So we just stand down this query and ask the Office of Auditor General to furnish the committee with further facts. I'm standing it down because you have told us that you don't have your file here. So the query is hereby stood down.
Seven payment voucher totaling 7 million. Please, I'll take it up again. Seven payment voucher totaling 7,035,889 naira 50 kobo did not pass through prepayment audit, contrary to F.H.A rule, which stipulates that all payment voucher must be subjected to prepayment audit by the internal audit unit before they are paid. The managing director should henceforth ensure all payment must pass through the internal audit unit for prepayment audit. Each payment must be stamped and signed by the internal auditor.
Again, all payments are subjected to the internal audit processes, including this one that they are mentioning. And we have attached before this document evidence to show that those particular payments were preceded by actions from our internal audit with clear dates of actions and approval as attached on page 33 to 38 of this document, sir.
Sorry, Auditor General, do you have the specific payment vouchers you are referring to?
Can you open page 33? What is the payment for? Yes, there is audit stamp, internal audit stamp. What is the payment for?
This payment purchase of furniture was our zonal office then in Port Harcourt.
How much?
This 3,648,120 naira.
How much is the approved threshold for cash advance to staff by the financial regulation?
By the financial regulations, is 200,000.
So why did you approve 3 million?
That the stamp and signature of the internal auditor was obtained after the query was received. In the circumstance, we would therefore order the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation to furnish the committee with the 5 copies of all the payment vouchers at the time of this query. Again, on the face of the payment vouchers, there is clearly an infraction of the financial regulations, as sums over and above 200,000 naira personal advances, which is above the threshold for personal advances, was flagrantly violated. We want to again caution all MDAs to desist from this act of reckless and unapologetic violation of financial regulations. Thresholds should be maintained and respected. They are not given for the sake of it. It is for a purpose. And as we continue to violate our financial regulations, we give room for corruption and loss of public revenue. Therefore, no excuse is good enough to violate any threshold as ordered by the government. Where there is their need to exceed the threshold, the regulation has also made provision for it. You ask for a waiver. Until you are granted the waiver, you do not have any plausible excuse. We pray that the authority will not continue in this infraction. And we also pray that all other MDAs should be cautioned to operate within their threshold. That's our ruling. So, Auditor General, you are to furnish us with the evidence you have in your file, because we are sure that you would have seen the payment voucher before you raise that query. Since we have one that is in compliance, let us compare this with what you have. If they are the same, then we need to also look further to find out why this kind of query should emanate from your office. If they are not the same, then we'll go for a forensic examination to know how that stamp and signature was put on that document.
The authority revealed that in 12 instances, Commission on Turnover (COT) and or Value Added Tax (VAT) were deducted from its various bank accounts contrary to the stipulation in an extant circular. This is pure violations of financial rules and regulations. The amount of 3,567,966 naira 46 kobo deducted from this account between 30 September 2008 and 31 December 2009 should be reversed by the banks. Otherwise, the authority should withdraw its funds from such banks.
To reverse that COT money, and we are following it up to ensure that they reverse and return that money. You can see from what we attached as a file, the communication that we had between us and them. Thank you.
Chairman.
Question is actually the additional information that I wanted to give, that the banks have duly complied with the directives, and that was reflected in our balance sheets, in the accounts. So this is just the information that I'm being given, and I've directed that copy of those reversals should be forwarded to me for onward transmission to this very important committee. Thank you.
Well, honorable members, for us to confirm the veracity of that claim, Office of Auditor General, you furnish us with the total sum from your observation, the total sum that was deducted. And then you will also furnish us with your bank statement showing the reversal. So the query is stepped down.
G. Several payment voucher, several payment totaling 9,662,630 naira were made for various workshops purported to have been attended by staff of the authority without cash receipt or certificates of attendance. To authenticate the payment, we therefore create doubt as to whether the training program were actually attended. The Managing Director has been requested to produce convincing evidence to show that the training were actually carried out for and attended by staff members.
The Honorable Committee, the staff, I want to say that they have attended the approved workshops and training programs, and we have attached payment receipts. And not only that, we also attach certificate of attendance as has been contained on Appendix 6, page 40 to 50. Is duly complied. Yes, with the confirmation, my Director of Financial Leaders.
So if you look at the payment receipts,
He has asked for certificates. When he wants payment receipts, he will ask for payment receipts.
You said as per attached payment receipt, I've seen that one.
yes.
And certificate of attendance, contrary to the names of those. So that is what I did not see.
These trainings to enhance the capacities of staff. That is the essence of training, and some of them, were meant to on the staff.
Is it true that propose the training or maybe the trainer proposing to you?
Our management services, the training unit of that management services determines the relevant courses. The trainers can send in their proposal, but the authority look at the relevance of such programs to the various staff. Transport allowances of staff that go, not just the component for the cost, but includes everything that will enable the staff to get to the training, its accommodation, and all of that. So here we'll put in the receipts that they make payment for attending the program.
You said certificate attached, and we are saying that it's contrary to their claims. And we have not seen the certificate. Are you going to withdraw that part pending when you so that it will be on record.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Chair, I already pleaded to actually produce them later on.
So are you expunging that clause?
Yes.
You are claiming.
Yes, sir.
Now you are claiming you have attached and you have not attached.
Respectfully, sir. I was doing this.
The response to this query does not answer the issues. The query is for the sum of 9,662,630 naira. While the receipts tendered are for the sum of 509,500 naira. This is a far cry from the total sum of the query. And there are no certificates attached. Although the MD prayed for time to present the said certificates, which were inadvertently omitted, we grant the MD more time to enable him to present the said certificates. Again, the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation is to furnish the committee with the names of the staffs that benefited from the said training. Whilst we also advise the authority to give us further details if there are any of the beneficiaries. We have said if there are any, we have not asked you to go and type out beneficiaries that do not exist. If there are any, if this is all the receipts you have, we stop at that.
Examinations of payment voucher number NHP 2262 of 7 November 2008 revealed that a sum of 14,11,175 naira 39 kobo was paid twice through Bank F.H.A. Check number 17283838 and 17383836. The payment were in respect of contract number 042 and 043 involving constructions of 3-bedroom bungalow at Lugbe Estate, Abuja. One single receipt number 001 for 14,11,175 naira 39 kobo was photocopied and attached to the two payment voucher. The receipt itself was a computer print out. This payment do not respect financial propriety. The amounts of 14,11,175 naira 39 kobo should immediately be recovered from the culprit, while all those involved in this apparently fraudulent transaction should be appropriately sanctioned and prosecuted.
This is that two houses were built by the same company on the same location. So instead of making the payment individually for each of the houses, it was paid lump sumly, and that was what the auditors thought was just one payment, no, for two payments, sorry, for one job that is done. However, I would want to, with their kind permission, to invite the Director of Finance to shed more light on it. That's my understanding. Thank you.
Director of Finance.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Chairman, but what he said is completely opposite of what the are saying.
Chairman, distinguished members, this company was awarded 2 separate contracts to build 1 unit each of 3-bedroom bungalow at our Lube estate. And this contractor executed the 2 contracts up to completion. And one certificate was raised for him for each of the jobs. And that's why the contract numbers are there, contract number 042 and 043. And the payments too, for each of the contracts were clearly distinct. And we have attached the evidence with the certificate of the job and also the payment vouchers on pages 51 to 54. So the payments were for the 2 units that we paid, and we didn't match the payment. The payments were done once. And the certificate and voucher are attached to this document.
Thank you, Chairman.
Amount, but in the voucher you attach the same receipt, photocopy the receipt to the 2 payments. So instead of attaching 2 separate receipts for the 2 payments, you attach just 1 receipt to the 2 payments, same receipt. That's the query here.
Sure.
Go on. Okay.
Sure. Thank you very much, Chairman. Is that the finance manager? Yes. Let us look at page 51. Page 51. Give payment due to the beneficiary on certificate Gaza in respect of contract number 043. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us look at page 53. Give payment due to the beneficiary on certificate number in respect of contract number. It was cancelled and 042 was written. The first one was 043. That is page 51. But on page 53, the contract number was cancelled to bear 042. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Any explanation to that effect?
Payment certificate on page 54.
Page 54.
Yes, Chair. You have to understand clearly what the query is. There's an examination of the payment voucher reveals payment voucher number NHP 2260 of 7th November 2008 revealed the sum of 14,011,175 naira was paid twice through bank PHP check numbers 1728388 and 1728386. So meaning one voucher was used to make 2 payments. That is incredible. They are not disputing that maybe the same contract has two contracts. But you use one payment voucher to pay. You package by the check number 1838 and 836.
So if you look at the attachment, the first voucher there, the serial number is 2237, and the second voucher on page 53, sir, is 2262. So we didn't use a single voucher, we used separate vouchers.
The query is not the issues you are responding to. The query is that one receipt was attached to 2 payment vouchers. The same receipt, a photocopy was made and attached to the second payment voucher.
And the receipt
And that receipt itself is computer generated, which is the cross of the earlier query. So So these are the two things that you ought to address, and you have failed to address any of them. Have not denied, neither did you admit that the same receipt was attached to the payment voucher. You have also not denied, neither did you admit that that same receipt is computer generated.
Government is continuity, and despite the fact that it's a continuous process, what you don't believe in, or what you are not aware of, or what you feel is an infraction, you say it out. So if you study the way I was responding to the query, something that I know was correct, what they did in the past, I stand by it and say this is correct. And whatever is not correct, I own it up that this is not what it should be done. So in responding to this very query, I started by saying, to my understanding, that this is how I understood it. And I explained myself and ended by pleading with the committee to allow me to invite the Director of Finance to shed more light. I may be wrong. So from what the Honorable member said, actually I am enlightened that two similar or same receipts were attended for the same, no, two jobs were made with, were paid by one receipt or something like that, which is not correct. Thank you.
Transaction.
I should think it was my predecessor, sir, and the Director of Finance here sitting by my left.
Director of Finance, guide us. Guide us are right.
Thank you, Mr.
If you
Chairman.
are involved, also tell us that you are involved.
Well, when this payment was made, I was not in Treasury then. So, and the response on the issue of the receipt, I don't know if this distinguished committee will allow us get the live voucher and see what was attached there. But that was not done.
Who were those involved in the transaction?
I'm trying to.
As the worry of the Auditor General is that one receipt is attached to two payment vouchers and the said receipt is computer generated. There is no response to this. We therefore uphold the query. We further recommend that the subcommittee for 2010 queries confirm the proper execution of both contracts. That's all.